Oh, happy holidays, my happy crafting friends. What do you think of my Christmas tree? I'm trying to go for a natural look this year, and that was why I decided to add in these pine cones. These are bleached pine cones, and I thought, you know what? You might want to know how to bleach pine cones. So let me show you how easy you can add a rustic look to your decorating this year with bleached pine cones.
It all just goes away. The things I plan to say, oh baby.
Okay, so the first part of this is we've got to find the pine cones. So thankfully where I live, there are lots of pine trees and lots of pine cones. So I collected a bunch of pine cones and then I put them into a big tub and I took them into my garage. These are the pine cones I'm going to be bleaching. So to do this, I've got a 5-gallon bucket. Then I'm going to add in a gallon of bleach and 2 gallons of water. So I put the pine cones into the big 5-gallon bucket. Then I'm adding the bleach. So once I had that step done, the next thing was to add the water. And I reused that bleach bottle and just filled it up twice with a gallon of water. Then I came out and dumped the water on top of the pine cones in the bucket of the bleach. And I did this out in my garage because I don't want to have bleach water in my house. So if you're going to be doing something like this and you have kids or pets, you want to make sure they stay away from the bucket of bleach water. Now you'll notice the pine cones are floating a little bit, so I needed to weigh them down. So I had just a couple of bricks that I put on top, and that is actually going to keep the pine cones down into that water. And it took about 48 hours for my pine cones to get all shriveled up. This is what they look like when they're shriveled up. They're all closed up, but they've been in that bleach water for about 2 days. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse off all of that bleach water. That will take off any of the little remaining yucky stuff that potentially could be in my pine cones. And then I just set them outside to dry. The drying process does take a couple of days, especially if it's cold outside, but once they are all dry, they will open up. And these are the pine cones, all opened up after about, I think it was 2 to 3 days, but look at how pretty they are. Now, you can use bleached pine cones in so many different crafts and in your decorating if you want a rustic look. I like the bleached pine cone look much better than spray painting them white. I think they look beautiful and natural, and these pine cones are a really great and an affordable way to get some new decorator pieces for your holiday decorating. There are so many different ways that you can use bleached pine cones in your decor. You can put them into a bowl, you can add them to different wall hang-ups and things like that. You could probably even use a little bit of glitter around the edges if you wanted to. I've even seen some bleached pine cone wreaths, which are beautiful. But for myself, I wanted to incorporate these into my Christmas tree. So this is my Christmas tree. I'm trying to go more natural looking, and I really like the way the bleached pine cones go with my decorations. They're super easy. I just kind of pushed them into place on empty spots in my tree, and I think they look really nice. So if you're looking for a way to add a little bit of nature into your decorating, I think bleached pine cones would be an excellent option for you. So now that you know how easy it is to make some bleached pine cones, go find some pine cones and add them to your holiday decor this year.